Hey guys, welcome back. You're sitting on the hashtag MagnaOnAir digital network, magnasearchgroup.tv. It's the Big Game Hunters podcast. Michael Flint, Rory McMillan. We're bringing you a show today specifically around job offers. We want to help our candidates decide when it is an appropriate time to run away from that newly offered job. You know, you've gone into an interview, you've met with a couple companies, the offer's there. When should you run away? Michael? When should they run?
That's right. Sometimes the right decision is not to make a decision and to decline that job offer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are some issues out there with talent right now. You know, we talk to obviously people, you know, day in, day out. 90% of the individuals that we talk to, they are looking for new opportunities. If of course it is the right opportunity. 25% of the people that we talk to, they feel that they're underutilized or underemployed within that working dynamic, and they could take a promotion, they could take on more responsibilities. Companies, on the other hand, they're having a hard time finding the talent that they want. And one of the most common things that we hear is experience, which effectively means the people that are applying for a job haven't been in the workforce long enough. Now, the problem with that is there's a bit of an age curve. You have all these baby boomers, all our parents, they're retiring en masse. So you have a gap of experience. Then you have, I guess we are the Gen Xers, the Gen Yers. We're the in-between demographic. We have the experience, but there's not enough of us from a leadership capacity to come into organizations. So companies are actually forced to look at the millennium generation. And they might have a lot of education and technical skills, but they don't have that practical working experience, and that's the disconnect. So some companies, they're basically marketing themselves so that they appear to be an attractive place to work, to try to get talent to come on board. And what we're doing is we're pulling the curtain back today. Yeah. We're pulling the curtain back to say, hey, if you see this happen over the course of your interview, you might not want to accept that
because
job.
We're headhunters, we're recruiters, we're industry leading experts. We see this all the time. There's certain jobs that you should run away from because you know, as a candidate or a prospect person looking for a new work, you never really know what it's like to work at that company until you try it.
No, that's true. You have to approach those conversations.
And sometimes you could be leaving an unbelievable opportunity for another one because you're thinking about just potentially making a little bit more money. And that's where a lot of people fall into places like, you know what, there's a new opportunity come up. This all sounds great. Wow. Yep. You know, I'm making 10, 15, 20, 30, sometimes $40,000 more on my salary. This sounds great, unheard of before. You know, is this really legit? Is this company really going to be able to sustain itself? You know? Yeah.
Well, my favorite thing is when you get the feedback that I went into the interview. Everybody's really nice, and they just talked about how much fun they're having, how much fun they have as an organization. Yeah. They bring the beer fridge in on Friday afternoons. You know, everybody kind of ponies up to bet on the Super Bowl, and they do hockey pools, and they do all sorts of things because it's a really fun place to work.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Sign me up.
Yeah, totally.
And you know, as much as that sounds great, there's certain things you got to ask. You know, if they're always talking about them, you know, why is it so great to work here? You know, why should we hire you? This is this is what we can do. This is how much opportunity is for you here at this company. These are certain things you need to keep an eye out for, right? It's always good to go into an interview or go and meet with a potential company that you want to work for, but you want to hear just as much about them but you also want to be able to talk to as well to vet your experience relevant to the job that you're applying for.
That's right. So when you hear about the fun, you should shift gears and you want to know about impact. You want to know that the job that you have is going to make a difference in the organization and feel a sense of accomplishment because that balances out the fun, which, don't get me wrong, I have fun at work, but I also go in, I work hard, and I know the results of a hard day at the office is going to be beneficial to that work-life balance that I keep talking about.
Yeah, because we hear this all the time from candidates, right? Like, I really went to an interview and I didn't really get to say too much. They just, you know, rambled on and talked about how great it was to work there. And, you know, they said all about the perks and the bells and whistles. And I didn't really get a chance to, you know, vet what my experience is like or my accomplishments or where I've worked and who I've worked for and the projects I've worked on. It was just more about them versus about us and how is this going to be a perfect match moving forward, right? So that's a really key sign. You know, definitely keep that on your radar if you're going for an interview, if you're looking to make that next move. If that company keeps talking about them, run away. Second point we got for you is they have no problem with salary. right? They will throw unlimited amounts of money at you, no matter what, just to get you come into the company, right? There could be many hidden agendas when it comes to throwing money at you, right? There could be a project where the previous person left because it was just so unorganized and they need someone urgently. They could be throwing money at you just because they're not managing their costs, they're not managing their finances.
Well, I think the biggest one, when we see that happen, I think the biggest thing is, sometimes you're leaving a good job. You are in fact going into an opportunity where you're earning more money. Once you get into that organization, you're earning more money. You could be trapped. You could have left something that was stable and secure, and all of a sudden you're in this working environment where maybe the culture is a little bit toxic. Maybe you don't have the responsibilities, the autonomy that you thought you did when you signed up to the organization. Whatever those reasons are, you can actually be trapped by that salary because then all of a sudden it's like, geez, how can I work somewhere else? It's taking a step backwards in life, so you have to get over that psychological
hostage, right?
You're hostage.
Yeah,
That's
you're
right.
almost like you're hostage. You feel like ambushed, like you're trapped because there's no more movement. They throw all this money at you, great compensation, and there's just no room
about
to
it
move up, right?
before you take hazard pay.
Absolutely. Think about it before you take hazard pay. And also you want to make sure that, good companies, based on my experience, negotiate salaries and compensation with their employers.
That's true.
Negotiate compensation with their potential new hires, right? Oftentimes it always comes in a little bit lower than the salary that was presented to you in the first place. And then they like to negotiate, and they always like to meet your middle ground where that candidate's happy and the employers are happy, and it's a win-win situation for everyone.
It's a process, and a good placement and a good opportunity is a win-win for both parties.
Absolutely. And another key thing, if there are a reason why you should run away from a potential employer, potential opportunity, is they will not allow you or not let you talk to other co-workers in the company. I think this is a huge one.
Well, it's a dangerous sign. If they say, come in for your interview, you go into the unmarked door at the back of the building, we're going to filter you in, and
you're out the back door.
You're in and out, and you don't get to see what the working environment is. Listen, if you walk into an organization, everyone has their heads down. People are not making eye contact with you. Generally, you walk in and you feel a sense of unease within that environment. Go with your gut. Go with your gut. It's really important to be able to have exposure to other individuals in that organization. Ideally, they're in the same role. Sometimes, if you're coming into an opportunity and the position's vacant and that individual was not promoted to another spot in the organization, well, why is that? Why did the individual leave? And what is this company not doing to grow and develop and ensure that there's some succession planning within their organizational chart?
Absolutely, because I think the key thing is the one reason the employers or hiring managers don't like that potential new employee to speak to other people, because one, they're potentially getting rid of someone. What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, they don't want you to be told, run for the hills.
Don't
come here.
Yeah, absolutely. Run by the other employees.
By the other employees
that work there. Yeah. That would be a big one.
Yeah.
It's very key before you accept that job offer, before you make that concrete decision. From leaving your current place to the next employment, or even if you're not working to your next employment, is that you want to be speaking to other people inside the company. And I know that we do that very well here. Like, we don't hire anyone at Magna Search Group unless they speak to the rest of the people inside the company. It's a proven fact. We just don't do it. We get everyone involved. We get everyone to speak to them. We get everyone to vet them, everyone to drill them, everyone to feel them out. And is it really going to be that right culture fit for us, right? Are they going to revive with us, Mike? Are they going to feel us out, right?
Are they going to perform?
Are they going to perform? Are they going to work with us? Performance is one thing. Performance comes with the right attitude, systems, processes, and the steps. But we need to make sure that they're the right person, the right attitude, with the right mentality. And it's very hard to find. It's very, very, very hard to find.
Well, listen, Glassdoor is a resource for you to look into an organization. Don't pay attention to the one or two disgruntled employees that post on there. At the end of the day, you can't be all things to all people. But if you check out an organization on a public forum like Glassdoor, and you see pages and pages of warning signs, listen, the writing's on the wall. It's right on your screen. Pay attention to that resource because it's there for a reason. And at the end of the day, a reputation, your reputation or a company's reputation goes a long way to that next opportunity as well. And
Absolutely.
And you don't necessarily want to be tied up with
because how many companies have we worked with, Mike, where when we're speaking with candidates and we're speaking to potential awesome people that we know our clients are absolutely going to love. But they're just like, oh no, absolutely not going to go work for that company.
Oh yeah,
I'm not going there. No way.
The candidates.
I know X,
around.
Y, and Z's working there, and I'm not going there. So you really got to pay attention to your brand. You really got to pay attention to what people are saying about you. You really got to understand what you're getting into if you're looking to make a move.
Yep.
And it's really important that you go and sit down and you speak with other people within inside the organization.
Yep.
And you also do your research on Glassdoor. You know, you understand what the salary requirements are. Don't just, you know, if someone's throwing everything at you, there's red flags all over that,
Yep.
Especially out the get-go.
You can also use something like LinkedIn to check out a company, see how many of their employees are online, and you can literally see, you know, how many individuals have been in that organization by their tenure.
Yeah.
And an average company, a good company, they have about 20% turnover in a calendar year. If you're looking at an organization and you can see that they have, you know, 30, 40, 50, 60% turnover, listen, guys, there's a reason for that. And although you might not have access in any interaction with those individuals, there's something to be said by the electronic footprint that's available for professionals leaving their work history online.
Yeah, and there's always reasons why people leave.
Sure.
People come and go. As companies grow, companies evolve, companies develop, people are always going to come and go from organizations. I won't really look, yes, looking into LinkedIn and looking at why people's tenure is important, but the key thing is you don't really know until you go in and sit with them, you go in and speak with them, you hear what the owner has to say, you hear what the hiring managers have to say, and you really involve yourself in all aspects of what we're saying. But you do get a good grasp of, wow, this company, you know, it's had like 16, 17 people leave within the last 4 months.
To your point, you use that research.
Restructuring, is that?
That's right. But
Disgruntled employees, what is it?
You use that research to ensure that you have a list of questions that are important to yourself personally and professionally, so that you're confident at the end of that interview cycle that should you be awarded the position, that you're in a position to be successful. So this research that we're talking about, it's to arm you with questions so that you go in and you're informed. And if you don't get the right answers from the organization as to why the position's open, as to why there are so many bad reviews on LinkedIn, or pardon me, on Glassdoor, as to why, you know, the headcount and the turnover appears to be high, then listen, go with your gut.
Go with your gut. I think gut feeling is everything, don't you?
Yep, I do.
In the hiring process and the recruitment process, when you know, when you want to get out, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite things when I talk to candidates is, or companies on behalf of candidates or vice versa, however the flow of communication goes, is you get a warning about the hiring manager. You know, this hiring manager, he's tough as nails. He has high expectations. You know, he's a guy that's always looking at numbers, performance. If you're going into a meeting and everybody's warning you about this meeting before the meeting ever happens, and you meet that guy, and those warnings are justified, just think, run! Working for him is going to be 10 times as worse as that interview was. So
put them in the rear view. Put them in the rear view, right?
Think about it.
Put your foot on the gas and run.
Yeah.
Run. But there's a lot of companies out there. You guys have to do your research. You have to do your due diligence. You have to understand what you're getting into before you take that next job offer. And another thing that we forgot to mention to you, Mike, is, you know, you're sitting inside the interviewer. The interviewer's not asking you any questions. He's not giving you any eye contact.
Yeah.
And he's rushing, right? And the worst thing that I hate doing when I look to hire new people is I never want to rush the interview. I want to spend some time with them, quality time with them, understand, you know, they're hiring. Why are they here? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to learn? What do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years? Like, these are things that I always want to have.
Let me ask you this question. Should a candidate meet a hiring manager, yes or no, before job offers are presented?
Absolutely.
Right, because this person can fire them.
Absolutely.
So would you ever accept a job without meeting the direct report?
No way.
That's exactly it.
No way. I would go in and I would assume that I would meet with the hiring manager before any hiring decision is made. But then if I come in and I'm interviewing one person and I've never even spoken to my potential boss or my supervisor that's going to manage me, that's got their career in their hands, no way. No way. I'm running. I'm running. Leaving for the hills. And you know, you and going back to what I was saying earlier is because you never know. There's a lot of companies out there. Candidates have a lot of options, a lot of choice of where they can go and work. And it's really important. We wanted to do this podcast with you today because there's a lot of reasons why you should decline job offers.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And we're just giving you a few of the main ones. I know there's a lot more out there. This is a hot podcast. We're coming to you each and every Monday, Wednesdays. We're giving the spotlight on Fridays. Make sure you guys check us out on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher Radio, YouTube. Michael Flint, Rory McMillan. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.